Hey guys, just gonna go over my x-maxx here. Had this thing for a long time now, probably almost a year and a half, 2 years. Put a lot of stuff into it. Started as 6S, upgraded to 8S. Now it's got the 5th scale, 1100 kV, the max 5. I've done so much stuff to this thing. I had the unlimited engineering shock shafts, which still break. Not unbreakable, I'll say that, but it took this A-arm here to snap in half there. Not completely, but just where the shock was to break it. But I've broken other unlimited engineering shafts with much less of a hit. So got trencher tires, the upgraded Traxxas servo. I did have a Bluebird servo in there, but it recently fried on me. I'm running 3250 right now, I think, for my gearing. I got the Hot Racing rear hubs. I never bought the front ones. I have never had any problems with them to this point. I run my Futaba radio because my Traxxas one wouldn't bind to this Max 5 for some reason. But this is the x-maxx that'll be on all my videos I make. I just pretty much fixed that shock. Oh, look at that. Didn't even notice that when I went over it. That broke or just pulled the screw out there. Looks like the screw might have broke. But I just fixed the A-arm that snapped and my shock shaft. Just going over it, checking for loose screws and everything before I take it out this weekend if the weather's nice. The coolest part about it is this body, which is a DBXL low-C cage, 5th scale. I just got it zip tied right to the original reinforcement for the stock body. Just zip tied in a few spots. Works great. I've had this thing sliding on its roof for 100 feet down the street. All it does is scuffs the plastic a little bit. Alright, I hit the stop button on accident. But yeah, this body takes some pretty good hits. I did cut a little hole in the front here. I run a piece of Velcro through this front tab around this bar. And I run one around the lock. Just a strap like this, so that this lock can't pop. The body will only come off in a really bad wreck. It's got to be pretty nasty for this to actually come off. The only other things I can think of is the tires are taped. Use some of that. I actually have 2 pieces in there because when I first got these tires, I had a little bit higher gearing in this, and they were just crazy. It was, I mean, they were ballooning twice their size. It was ridiculous. I thought I was going to actually rip the rubber out of the screws. It was a little too much. But these tires, people might complain about the weight. They're amazing. They're better than the stock, I would say. And the Badlands were just too hard. I actually have the Badlands upstairs. I was not a fan of them. They were always too hard. They got good grip on the dirt and the grass, but on the road they were really bad. These are a really good all-around tire. Definitely worth the money. Let me think of it. It's like a, got the motor mount on eBay. It was a Poseidon, I believe, motor mount. Really easy to install. You just had to Dremel a little piece of the plastic out to get it to sit flush. I don't know if you could actually see down in there, but yeah, there was a little piece of plastic in this corner here you have to trim. Fits really good. My flashlight's going dead, so it's going to be hard to see here. Alright, but yeah, 8S, Gens Ace. I've ran, I don't even know how many times I've ran these packs. No swelling, really good packs. 5050Cs. I think I got these on eBay too, pretty cheap. The only problem I had was the balance plug. One of the pins started pulling out, so I tried to throw some liquid electrical tape inside the connector itself to hold it up. It's worked so far. Got the XT150s. I use them on everything. Super easy to solder. Take high amps. Yeah, and I actually just use a jumper wire in the back instead of using a bunch of connections. You just connect it here, and your negative goes here, this negative here, this power here. So you only have 1, 2, 3, 4 connections instead of 6. Not that big of a deal, but less connections, less resistance. I had to chop this Castle fan pretty good to get that to sit down on there. I had to Dremel out both corners here, a little on this side. This is a 3D printed mount I got on eBay for the Max 5. It just sits on these rails and you just zip tie it on. It's been flawless so far. It's nice, has a little spot for your switch there, a little spot for an antenna. Pretty nice buy. I think it was like 25 bucks. Works really well. I was gonna get the ones that were aluminum plate, but then you had to, it was just looked like a pain. And then I tried this out and it worked perfect. It does sit a little high. You can actually get them to sit down a little lower for weight, but I'm not worried about it. I never really had a problem with the high center of gravity on this thing. You just get used to it. That's it for now. Like I said, you see this in any videos I make. This is the truck. It's been pretty solid. Don't break too often. Unless, like that little test video I had where I hit that. It's actually like an old hand water pump in the ground, about a inch and a half round pipe, steel pipe. I don't know, I probably hit it doing 25, 30. Snapped that A-arm. Took the shock shaft with it. Actually pulled my bumper out, but I drilled down into these holes a little bit further. Put a little bit longer bolts in there. Some super glue for now, because no matter what I do with these bumpers, they just get tore up. Like this one, look, I'll have to probably drill down into there. Put a bigger screw with some super glue on it. Some CA glue. It'll hold for a couple runs. Yeah. Thinking that's it for now. I might throw the bigger pinion on there. Heat's never been an issue with this motor. I think it's usually like 80 degrees. And that's after some hard bashing with this pinion. I don't know about the other one. I haven't hit it with the heat gun yet. Another thing about this one, I'm not sure about the Kershaw, but I think you have to actually pull the pinion to tighten these. And with this one, you can actually get, I think it's a 7mm wrench. You can actually get it in here to set your mesh without pulling your pinion, which is really nice. I've seen some people with the other one where you have to set it, pull your pinion, then tighten it, and if it goes off, then you have to pull your pinion back off and do that all over again. This one I was iffy about it at first on eBay, because I never really heard of the company. But it ended up working out really well. Yeah. If anybody knows anything good about these bumpers, besides buying the T-bones, they're a little expensive. But I might end up getting them just because these bumpers just don't hold up worth anything for me. They're pretty flimsy. I'd like to find a solution for that. Something that be a little more permanent than every, like this here is brand new. It's just every couple runs end up buying either this brace or this piece here. This goes with the skid plate so that you can re-bolt it down because the threads just pull right out. But any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. That's it for now. Later, guys.